We got
All right, I'm going.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to be discussing Chapter 10, Helping Clients Do Things Differently. My name is Nadya Spicer.
I'm Shirelle Barnett Gonzalez.
And I'm Andrea Ledger. I'll be starting this off. So the previous chapter discussed helping clients see and feel things differently. We will be discussing how to help clients do things differently. So what happens is a client or a client family member may identify a pattern of behavior that the client is displaying and suggest that they go talk to a clinician. A clinician will talk with the client about some behaviors, some issues they may be dealing with, and suggest ways that they could change those behaviors. A lot of times clients don't recognize that when they change one behavior, that also affects their thoughts and feelings, because thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are mutually intertwined, which is where the ripple and the stream effect comes from. When a client changes their behavior or learn new skills or accomplish practical tasks, many other aspects of their lives are affected. Not just their behavior, but also their perspective, their emotions, their feelings, self-concept, achievements. They all change because they're all interrelated. The circular causality and reciprocal influence, if you remember from chapter 1, is the cause and effect of a behavior. Thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are mutually influenced and affect one another with the cause and effect map behavior. When a client starts to do things differently, their perspective about their lives, the places they go, the people they choose to be around, it all changes. The people connected to the client also feels those changes because they're affected to the client by their behavior, and their behavior affects whoever they're related to. So the people they used to hang around with, they may no longer want to hang around with, or the things they used to do, they may not want to do anymore. So that also ripple effects into relationships. So now we're going to talk about some behavioral techniques that could be used in a session with the client. The first behavior technique we'll talk about is modeling. Modeling is based on a behavioral principle that people learn new behavior, attitudes, and values or feelings by observing others. Clients are likely to imitate the desired behavior, and if the model is similar to themselves or a respective figure or a celebrity. The client should find their own way of being rather than imitating the model. So what that looks like is if you show them a video of a celebrity or a person of influence behaving in the desired way, we also want to emphasize to our clients that they should not model exactly what the client is doing, but to take that behavior and put their own spin on it. But this is also true for us as new clinicians. We will be given a mentor or someone to help teach us the way of doing counseling. And we also need to take what we learn and put our own spin on it and make it our very own approach. So now I'll pass it off to Nadya to discuss the next technique. Nadya, are you ready?
I'm ready. All right. So next we have our behavioral rehearsal technique. So behavioral rehearsal allows clients to practice new behaviors or skills in the safety of the clinical relationship. So this is beneficial because it takes the anticipation as well as anxiety out of potential future events. And it also gives clients a chance to succeed at behavioral skills by identifying the ones needed and testing them out through the clinician's feedback. So for a couple examples, we can take a look at maybe we're preparing for an interview. We want to get this big job, or maybe even a promotion, or we need to practice a speech for a wedding or just any important event. Maybe we're doing a conference or it's a work meeting. So it's really good to sit when you're with your clinician, you're the client or vice versa, and you sit and you ask questions as if you're actually there. So you're kind of prepping the scenario and you're discussing what it would be like and going over that material, and it really just reduces all of that anxiety because you feel that you are now prepared, whereas before you weren't as prepared.
All right, next up, we have the step-by-step behavior technique. In this process, the clinician and client work together at a slow pace to help the client achieve an objective that suits at their own pace. So looking at the objective and deciphering how to break it down into smaller ones from easiest to smallest, from easiest to most difficult is what the clinician and the client first do together. This is called shaping. So this is breaking the task into component parts and rewarding the small steps that are taken to achieve the behavior. The clinician and client will then identify and prioritize the component parts that will be most beneficial to the desired behavior change. So an example of this is on the next slide. And we have here, a student may want to get better grades. So that's the desired behavior. Then you'll have to break it down into components. The first component we have is prepare. Then there'll be a subcomponent. So for prepare, the subcomponent is the student may want to start arriving to class on time and coming prepared with their materials. The next component would be to improve. The subcomponents for improve would be listen in class. But the student may want to take more detailed notes, create a study guide, and put themselves in study groups as well to improve study habits, also turn in work on time. The third component could be ask for assistance, communicate with teachers to see if any extra credit or make up late work can be done, attend tutoring, homework help, and workshops, ask for feedback on work to see where improvements can be made, and also ask questions in class about confusing topics. So that is the end of chapter 10.